Hello everyone, my name is Mark Edward Blanton with The Real South Africa.
And I am Dr. Latasha Blanton, also with The Real South Africa.
We have an amazing group trip that you will be interested in. It's with the African Diaspora News Channel, a great YouTube channel, gives you great information about what's going on in Africa. But we have a group trip featuring Phil Scott, the host.
And the trip is going to take place on March 16th through the 25th. It's going to go to Johannesburg and Cape Town, and It's in 2022. If you're interested in traveling, please send an email to info@therealsouthafrica.com.
And we'll see you here in sunny South Africa.
Salibonani, unjani, makadi. Hello everyone, welcome back to another broadcast of the African Diaspora News Channel with me, your host, Maritawana, aka DJ Wokahunters, Sitole Imali. And of course, if you're just here for the first time, you are most definitely welcome. Please do like, share, and of course subscribe and hit that notification bell for more content. Now, the president of Zimbabwe, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa, has called for the remains of Cecil Rhodes to be taken back to the UK. Now, these remains are located at the moment in the Maritawana South Province of Zimbabwe in Matopo National Park. Of course, I have mentioned this tourist attraction, Matopo National Park, in another broadcast. And Mnangagwa told traditional leaders a week ago that in the capital that the remains of Cecil Rhodes, who was the founder of the former British colony Rhodesia, were of no importance to the country, which I definitely totally agree with. And he has suggested that in return for returning his remains, we get the remains of First Liberation War heroes' remains, which are supposedly, apparently, at the British National Museum in the UK. Basically, he wants to trade, and I think this is a very smart and a very wise idea. Not recently, maybe a few years ago, in the year 2015, there was a campaign called #Rhodes Must Fall on social media, and Zimbabwe's former president, the late President Robert Mugabe, although he had kind of protected the idea of the remains of Cecil Rhodes not being removed, he had protected that idea of them being removed actually from his grave being removed and his remains taken back. There were a group of liberation war fighters during this campaign in the year 2015 that had been fighting for these remains to be taken back to the UK. But now finally Emmerson Mnangagwa is making a move and is pushing for the UK to take back these remains and in return for including one of the liberation war heroines, Buyani, which I've also mentioned again in another broadcast, who was not only a spirit medium, but was very influential, a fighter, very influential in the first liberation struggle of the country. And so as much as this has been pushed, the British National Museum has said that they do believe that there are remains that belong to Zimbabwe that are in their museum, and it is said that there are over 20,000 human remains in their museum that supposedly, I'm not sure if they actually belong to Africa as a continent, but they have been said that there has been that much remains that are being exhibited, and I feel that is very inhumane, very weird for a British National Museum to be holding so many skulls and remains that belong to actually families who want to bury their ancestors, who want to bury their loved ones, and it's wrong for them to just be keeping them there. And definitely I'm for this move, I'm definitely for this push, and I really hope that Emmerson Mnangagwa will be very successful in this move, and a lot of people are supporting this. The move is actually called #BringBackOurBones, which was launched in October this year, and it has been, of course, calling for these return of the Zimbabwean skulls and bones. In November, the campaign organizers protested at the British High Commission in Pretoria, South Africa, calling calling for the return of the first Chimurenga Liberation War heroines and heroine skulls and artifacts. And of course, as much as this has been moved, there's, we can only hope, so much as hope, that this actually does happen. Quite a number of South Africans, and not just Zimbabweans, are pushing for these for Cecil John Rhodes' remains to go back, so that we can in return get the remains that have been there at the British National Museum for quite for a very, very long time. And this campaign, this protest has been happening for quite some time. This more of a push movement rather has been happening for some time. So I do hope that Mnangagwa is successful in this, and of course you are more than definitely welcome to comment and say what you think about the situation. I really do not see the need for Cecil John Rhodes' remains to stay here, because he was not only an imperialist and a colonialist, he was definitely a white supremacist, and he only had his own people's interests at heart rather than black people in general, who are the majority. So that is it from me, Maritawana, here on the African Diaspora News channel. Please do subscribe, and of course you can follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. We are also on Instagram, and of course you can also follow me on Twitter at Ndini Actress. I'm also on Instagram at Ndini Actress Wacho, and of course I also have my YouTube channel, my own YouTube channel called DJ Workahontas from House of Stones. That is DJ Workahontas from House of Stones, where I talk about relationships, current issues, past events, and of course definitely black empowerment. So from me and the team, it's bye for now. Cheers. I'll definitely see you in the next broadcast.
Colonization never ended in the white supremacist system. And as we see today, the colonization is in the mind. Now, those who have been enslaved and those who have been colonized, we're still dealing with the remnants of that through the colonization of the mind. Pick up my book, 7 Steps to Decolonize the Mind, and we will help deprogram you from the colonization that was put upon you by generations and generations of white supremacy. You can pick it up today on Amazon.com.